James Harden finally opens up to the media for the first time since his public comments about Daryl Morey. We'll talk about what he said and discuss what it means for the Sixers moving forward. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, this is not good.
Perfect.
What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. You know the drill by now. Drop a like on the video. Drop a comment for the algo. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, drop a rate. Subscribe. Why not? We will be back soon with the play-by-plays, watch parties, all the different types of content. We keep dropping these videos, live streams, call-ins, etc. We are bringing you the content live and direct. And today, out of nowhere, James Harden decides to talk to the media after practice. Shame on the Sixers. I wish this was like live streamed or something. Would have been great content to react to. But here we are, and we will get to listen in to all the little sound bites, listen into the clips of what Harden had to say about his trade requests, where he stands with the team, etc. I'm here to give you my honest feedback, man. I don't think this is going to be a positive situation. I think we're off to a rocky start in another season with a disgruntled star, just like a couple years ago. But I want to hear from you. Chime in down below. Sound off in the comments. Do you think this can be resolved? Do you think something positive will come out of this? Do you think over the next couple weeks things will get fixed? 13 days away from the Sixers' first game in Milwaukee. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments. And before we jump into it, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. They are a large online therapy service. I'm sure anybody out there listening has gone through or knows somebody who has gone through mental health issues or experiences. I wish I would have known back in the day about an easy, accessible outlet like BetterHelp. They try to make therapy more affordable, and they make finding a therapist so much easier because it's online, remote. All you have to do is answer just a few questions about your therapy needs, and they can match you with a therapist with just in a few days. Then you can establish that connection. You could talk to your therapist via text, chat, phone, message, video call. It doesn't matter. At any time that you want, 24/7, they're there to help you out. And if your therapist is not the right fit for any reason, you can then switch to a new therapist for free without stressing about insurance, the in-network, out-network, all that stuff. So BetterHelp is there to provide for your needs. If you are struggling or you know somebody who is struggling, again, it's never a bad thing to reach out and seek help. Consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Get 10% off of your first month by clicking the link down in the description, or just go to betterhelp.com/PhillyTake and they will take care of you. Speaking of help, the Sixers are apparently not trying to help James Harden, and James Harden is not trying to help the Sixers. Yesterday, we get this report, shout out to Philly Sixers Galaxy, putting it on Twitter from Woj. The Clippers are prioritizing trading for James Harden over Malcolm Brogdon right now. And this just goes in line with everything of what we've heard, right? James Harden, the Clippers, they're thinking about it. They're not. Who knows? Woj says, I think the Clippers' view is we prefer James Harden. We're willing to offer more for James Harden, but Brogdon does loom. We know Brogdon's probably going to get swapped to another contender. Clippers have options. They tried to trade for Drew Holiday. Those reports came out today. They offered more for Holiday than Harden. There's just a lot going around. But in spite of all this, what do you know? Here we go. Hop on the train, man. James Harden, after practice, comes out and speaks to the media. First time live and direct in front of the Sixers. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts on this throughout. And, man, I feel like I've been saying it for the last 5 months. I feel like I've been saying the same things. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to talk about this team, their expectations, etc. It is just hard when you have a guy and you're going into a season not knowing what's going to happen. So, anyway, James Harden was asked about the entire situation, and he was asked about the front office, etc., and how we got here, essentially, and listen to his response.
Sort of where your head is at with your situation and kind of how you plan to proceed from here?
Yeah. Just to, like, the fans, man, it's like, just appreciate the support and love, and you know what I mean, it's definitely a difficult time, but for me, it's just trusting, the people that you've known over decades, and when I got traded here, my whole thing was I wanted to retire at 60. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be here and retire at 60, and front office didn't have that in their future plans. You know what I mean? So like it's literally out of my control. It's something that I didn't want to happen, and it's just to be in this position.
He says it was out of his control. He wanted to retire a Sixer, and the front office had other plans. Talks about trust and all these other things. And then James Harden asks, you know, can this situation be fixed? The $1 million question, can this be repaired? Even though you're showing up now, will you find a way to fix this with the front office and, you know, try to make things align and just be good going into the season? Here is his response.
Do you think that you and you said the front, you had a relationship for 10 years? Do you think this is something that can be repaired? I mean, could you?
No.
It can't? And why? Why is it that? Why do you think it can't?
And it's not even, this is not even about this situation, this is in life. Like when you lose trust in someone, you know what I mean? It's like a marriage. Like you lose trust in someone, it's like, how, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's pretty simple.
So James Harden says, no, this cannot be repaired. Just like marriage, when you lose trust in somebody, you know, there's no going back. Couple things about this. Again, I'm not going to keep blabbering on saying the same things, but, you know, it's funny to me. You know, he says that he can't control it, this and that. I will say this once and for all. Again, James Harden opted into his contract. And I know the people out there, the Harden fanboy defenders are going to say, oh, well, he promised to be traded, this and that. Listen, if anything happened, it was last year, and Morey said, we'll take care of you in the future. That's what I imagine could happen, right? There's no way James Harden opted in and Daryl said, we guarantee we will trade you. Maybe he said, if the Clippers give us what we want, or if we get a substantial trade return, then we'll trade you. James Harden has not won anything. James Harden didn't earn anything this past postseason. James Harden, we had whispers, wanted to leave last Christmas to Houston. James Harden would have left to the Rockets on his own accord. He didn't care about the Sixers. He was ready to leave and take his money. But wait, guess what? The Rockets didn't want him. No other team wanted him. If we were sitting here and 3 other teams were ready to offer Harden the contract he wanted, then I'd sit here and say, well, why aren't the Sixers matching that? Obviously, there's interest, there's value. Nobody wanted him on the contract that he wants. And like he said, it's just the business of it. The Clippers don't want to give up Terrence Mann for James Harden. Doesn't that tell you something? So these people keep telling me, oh, he did it in the best interest of the Sixers. No, he did not. He wanted to leave. He wants to leave. And the funniest thing, again, that I continue to say, look, I like James. I want him to be here. I think this is his best situation to earn that contract, right? I mean, he goes to the Clippers. Okay, like, why not play here with a perennial big man, an MVP, with Tyrese Maxey, right? You want to leave. You can only play on a player option this upcoming year for 1 year. And then what? And then what? This is the chance for you to earn it. If you really wanted to earn it that bad, you'd go out there and you'd say, you know what? I'm going to go play as hard as I can, and I'm going to show you why I earned this 4-year contract. He's getting paid $35 million this year, and people continue to coddle this. It's just a reflection of society nowadays, the mindset. It's crazy. Crazy, man. Anyway, James Harden then wants, to go on and talk about this. If he still wants to be traded, here's what he said.
I just been here, working my butt off, and I love the game of basketball, so I'm just in the gym and putting the work in. That's all I can control.
That's all I can control. That's what you should have started with, right? You didn't have to come out and say, oh, this is a marriage, and then you lose trust, and then this can't be repaired. If he would have just came out today and didn't answer the questions and just said, I'm here to play basketball, I'm going to go out there, play with my teammates, play as hard as I can, right? Even if you still want to get traded, then other teams are going to look at that and say, wow, he's handling that professionally. Wow, James goes out there in a couple weeks and he puts up a 35-point performance. Man, he's looking pretty good. But no, now we got to stir up this drama. Now teams know you want to leave. There's no leverage at all either side. And you could have just came out and said this right at the forefront and just, for the rest of the question, said, I'm just here to play basketball so I don't get fined. That's what you could have said, man. Anyway, he then talked about Nick Nurse. Here's what he had to say about the Sixers' new coach.
With that being said, I guess going through practice and things like that, have you been picking up on Nick Nurse's schemes and styles and things like that?
And again, I do appreciate the professionalism for finally coming out here and talking to the media. Ben Simmons would never. So I do appreciate James for talking to the media. But again, you don't have to dive into these conversations, man. Just go out there and play your game. Make it the best suitable situation for both teams. Now it's awkward again. You're going into a season. You know this guy doesn't want to be here. It's just going to be very awkward to begin the season.
Nick is very versatile. He's a player's coach. You know what I mean? Like he understands it. And I mean, thus far, just I've known him a little bit. When he was G League coach at Houston. But this, obviously, he's won the championship. And he sees the game different. And, I'm a fan of him.
So
James Harden, big fan of Nick Nurse, big fan of the system. Seems like the perfect situation for you, James. Then Nick Nurse talks about James Harden, and I'll tell you what he said in his little clip. He says, we're taking it day by day. Same thing he said every single day. That is where we're at with the James Harden situation. He came out, he talked, he still doesn't trust Daryl Morey. The Sixers are still keeping him at this point, man. The best thing to probably do is just to get rid of him for what you can get. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be a lot, but I don't think Daryl Morey's going to budge. I think he's going to hold him, and I think this will turn very toxic. Sure, James Harden can be here and go out and be in good shape and play, but if he doesn't think he's going to get traded and get what he wants, I said a couple weeks ago, when he wants what he wants, that's what he wants. He's not going to change his mindset. Will he play? Will he give effort? Will he do his thing? Maybe enough to get traded, but imagine going out there every night and your teammates know you're trying to get traded and you're just out there probably, chucking shots, not caring about the result just so you can get yours. This is going to be interesting, man. I will wait to see what the next step is, but I don't think this is good right now. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.